Hello and welcome to Monster of the Month.
Woo!
DM,
Very
take it away.
excited to be here. Thank you for showing up. We apologize for our last time, just scheduling mishap, but we are here now and we're going to continue our story. Before we begin, I'll ask each one of the players to introduce their character and their class, and then I'll do a little recap as we were last time. Let's just start it simple. Donna, would you introduce your character and their class?
Hello, I am playing Professor Ox. He is the professional class. He is a old school teacher, retired, read magical investigations.
Basically, Indiana Jones,
Yeah.
but in Indiana Jones 4.
And he sounds like Sean Connery.
And so yeah, he's Henry Jones, not Indiana Jones.
We named the dog Indy.
Let's move on to Dr. Ted.
Hello, I am Dr. Ted. I play the mundane. In a nutshell, Dr. Ted is a psychiatrist in town who is slowly believes he is going through a psychotic break and has realized that that is not the case, and all the things that go bump in the night are legitimate, and he doesn't know how to deal with that yet.
You're doing well though for someone whose the entire world turned out to be a lie. And then Damon Edge, could you go ahead and introduce yourself, please?
Absolutely. I am Tony, and of course, my co-pilot is Ramona here. And we are playing Damon Edge, the spooky, the medium-like dude with psychic powers, whatnot.
Awesome. And I am just Brett, and I am playing literally everyone else as the keeper of the story. Last we left off, we had discovered that someone had met their unfortunate demise as their head popped like a balloon inside their own vehicle as they were leaving a bar. After introductions between the characters, they all were going to the bar. People were celebrating as the years late 90s, early 2000s. I think thanks to the football scores that we did, it's technically 2002, but that doesn't mean it's officially canon. Life is weird. Time is strange. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't matter where you are. It's always a different time. That's how time works. Doing some investigating around the car, there was a little stalled as Dr. Ted accidentally pressed the truck's horn. I'm trying to avoid some brain matter that was on some of the stuff, but you discovered that it was not a self-termination attempt. It was something supernatural did happen here, and it seemed like whatever it was, the amateur or something otherworldly, whether that be a demon, a Cthulhu-like beast, a ghost, a phantom, you don't know. Then before the police started going over there, our spooky little teenage dirtbag was able to deflate all the tires in their car using their otherworldly magic, and was able to record the area where the body laid, or what's left of the body laid. They all hopped into the doctor's car and zoomed off. We're going to start here and then backtrack to where we were. So, as you're all in your car, Professor, what is the name of what's your vehicle one more time?
A 1969 Mustang.
That's right. Beautiful car.
Yeah.
I
can't
little
remember
loud,
if it's
but
a GT or not, but I don't know cars. Don't fucking quote me.
You're the one that named the car. Whoever's editing this, it might be me. I don't know though. Put in the original car if it's something different there. But Damon, you have your cassette player. Would you like to try to see if you can get anything from it as you guys are zooming off?
Absolutely. Damon is going to take out. I don't know if you guys remember the little like super flimsy one metal and then two tiny like foam poof earbands that used to come with like Walkman and cassette players.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna pull out like the foam basically doesn't exist on these. They've disintegrated so hard on him. And he's gonna. Do you guys want me to play this out loud or?
I can open up the console, show that there's a cassette player that's been built into it, and so.
I mean, you're probably not gonna get much out of it, but unless you're looking for meditation-y type stuff.
At this point, I'm pretty sure I could go for some meditation. I'll be honest.
Okay.
I'm having. I don't know what to go with myself.
All right. I'll pop the. Brett. It does not. We talked about this earlier. The cassette player works as a focus, but it is not required for this process. Correct?
I don't know if you ever tried not to use the cassette player as a focus. Have you tried to do it elsewhere?
Oh. Do you guys have an aux cable? Because he is for sure not.
My boy, I'm Ox, but I do not come. Well, I have.
Go ahead and roll me a d6, Professor Ox. On an even number, you have an aux cord. If not, if an odd number, you do not, unfortunately.
I'll say we're around the 2000s. That it's a crapshoot whether you'll have one.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Or if this cassette player would have it on there, because we don't know how accurate
I got
it's
a
kept.
3.
Has he
Oh,
upgraded
wait.
the radio?
It's a 60s something vehicle.
Yeah.
Oh, it
Have
doesn't
you
have
up-
a plug-in.
Have you upgraded your radio at all? Because those radios back then weren't the
Probably. I probably updated the system a little bit. I probably have what is a cassette player that has the cord connected to it with the aux cord. But
Well, that's what we're checking
I'm
to see if you
not
actually
like
have
I
the
don't
aux
have
cord
it
or not.
in. I'm just like going through my glove box and seeing if I still have it. I got a 3.
A 3. So unfortunately, your aux cord is either in your office somewhere, or someone took it out of here, or you misplaced it, or it's at Dr. Ted's feet. You don't know. The cord here is not out at the moment.
One of my students gave me something. God damn it! I didn't put it in here.
Well, I think I can just play this on the cassette player, and that'll probably do the job. It won't be as loud though.
Just go for it.
All right, and he's gonna unplug the aux and use the internal speaker of the cassette player to play this thing.
Little thumb dial for the audio.
Yeah, exactly.
Dr. Ted and Professor Ox, this is an older version of a Walkman. Like this one, it looks like how you look at it, it doesn't have a sleek look. Like you can almost taste the lead paint that's probably on this thing still. What is interesting about it though, instead of the normal labels for the companies where it should be, it looks like there's a divot. There's a distinct it's like someone put this on here instead of like carved it in as a part of the actual like creation. It's a solid gold button, like a coat button almost, which is bizarre. Go ahead. As he takes it out, Damon, roll me a weird check to see if you're able to get this thing. And if you two want to see if you can try to get any vibes after he rolls it, we'll see how well he rolls to see if that even matters for you guys. Ramona, give us your words of wisdom. What do you see?
That is a 7 total.
7 total. Which means on a 7, it works imperfectly. Choose your effect and a glitch. So, you either can harm yourself, something happens specifically, or so from the effects list, the ones that apply to this, you observe another place or time. You well, some of these things don't make sense, but how do you want this to fail, basically? These are the base examples, but we're not using their exact core system.
So I think the effect is of a short duration. I don't think we get a long message. I think we get a couple of words.
Okay. And for glitches, yeah, it was short duration. Okay. So, since it was a 7, I need the both of you to try to roll. You need to beat a 10 to see if you can try to get a glitch for the vibe.
All right.
A weird check. Prophet. Yeah, just a weird check.
I got a 6.
That's a failure. You can mark an XP.
Nice.
You're muted.
I got a
Professor.
10.
Oh, you got a 10. Okay.
I got a 6 and a 4. I got a 10. I have no plus to weird.
That's weird.
Nice.
Okay. As Damon rewinds the cassette player. Damon, would you like to describe how this happens, or do you want me to try to take full reel while this does take effect? It's your character, your magic.
Absolutely. So the way that this works for Damon, for the most part, is that he starts playing, and you guys will hear, literally, it is a recording of us looking through the car and the night. So you will hear some of the officers in the distance. Probably, actually, the mic's probably not that great for them. You'll hear our conversation as we're investigating. I don't remember it per se exactly, but and then you'll hear just sounds of the night, and it is extremely staticky as you do so. I'm not sure if they would hear any artifacts within it. No? Okay.
What Professor Ox will notice, as Damon is like listening to it, kind of his ear is to it, but he's also projecting so you guys can hear it. You see his form seem to glitch out like white noise or TV snow for a second as he's listening to it. Like he's trying to channel into the frequency of whatever radio waves he's hearing for a second as he's listening.
I see Damon glitch.
Glitch like he's trying to match the frequency of whatever he's listening to.
So it's like, what is that? The static noise channel or whatever? You just go like that for a second? Okay.
Yeah. His body seems to be shifting a little bit. It's not like he's coming corporeal or anything like that. It's just he's seeming to whatever power he has
I am the one driving, and that's that probably, what's the word? Not scares, but shocks or
concerns.
It takes me by surprise, and so I may like jerk the wheel for a second, and be like, "What the?" Just be like, "What's that?"
Damon, what you hear as you're ignoring the concerned professor. Through the static, you hear, I'm not going to glitch it out too much, that way you guys can actually understand what I'm saying. A lot of paused words, left. A lot of pauses, me. Silence. And then if you rewind it, listen again, it's you left me. There's long pauses and glitches because you're not able to match it perfectly.
Does it sound... Just real
you
quick.
don't hear. You just hear.
I'm not hearing anything. So this is all Tony's questions to
Yeah.
ask. Got it.
Yeah. You will hear him. You guys would know the sound of a rewinding cassette tape. You will hear him rewind, play, fast forward, pause, play, fast forward, play, fast forward, play, rewind. And you'll hear this, probably 3-4 times at least. To make sure that's what he got out of it. I think it sounds like a lover's scorn. They're saying you left me. But like lovers don't explode heads.
I don't know. I've had a few couples inside of my therapy sessions that I could see some heads exploding in those marriages.
Do I know of like a type of beast or monster that narrows this down a little bit more for me?
Roll me a brains check.
Something that like,
Yeah. Obviously not 100% monster of the week rules, but DC is just 7, like just a basic pass because you've been doing this for a long time.
what do I roll brains with?
Sorry, I keep mixing this up with my own. Sharp. It's a sharp check.
Okay, so investigate a mystery.
Yeah, it's like bait investigate a mystery, but you're not actually rolling to investigate a mystery.
Escape sharp.
Yeah,
10.
it's a plus sharp for you.
Okay.
You just have to beat a 7.
Okay.
Again, we're
plus
hybriding D&D a little 5e with.
God. I got a 6.
6.
Just
You can
barely
burn
didn't
one of
get
your
it.
lucks if you want to try to help narrow down the search a little bit.
Yeah, I'll burn a luck. All
right. First luck burnt of this adventure.
Yay.
How exciting.
Mm-hmm.
With the success, there are several ghosts that can be vengeful. Ones that are specifically lover squirrels are women in white, which are women who will catch their spouse cheating and then kill people around them, then eventually themselves. They can be scornful for those that might be adulterous. Don't have to have any connection to them, just that act. I mean, it could be an angry like spirit of a dog that someone like left out in the rain one day. It could, I mean, there are plenty of ghosts that are just angry that do that, or maybe this is a calling card for one of the great ethereal gods that are in the corners just waiting for someone to do something like that. Looks like that might be fun to mess with.
Okay,
but this seems to be more like vengeful spirit, like Damon suggested.
Okay.
That's the best case scenario. You don't think you can fight Cthulhu with a shotgun.
We've had 2 victims now, right? And
right now we're still dealing with one. We're about to get to the second one in a few minutes.
This one was male. Okay. So I'll keep note of that, of the different things. It's like, well, there's several different ones. Namely vengeful dog or vengeful wife.
Vengeful dog and a vengeful. So.
Or not and. No, you don't want the 2 together.
Okay.
You're absolutely fucked if you do that.
I'm trying to wrap my head around the concept of having a dog come after to eat me. Like, I already know there's enough issues.
Hey.
But it's just.
Weird clarification. So would Damon know whether what he heard is from the victim or the perpetrator, the killer?
Normally yes, but because you rolled a 7, it was shortened. If you had gotten a higher roll, you would have gotten more.
Gotcha. Okay, just checking to make sure it wasn't that he knew a little bit more about that.
One more question: is Dr. Ted still technically stoned on mythical weed?
Roll me a kick-ass check to see to see how you're doing emotionally. How's your constitution holding up, buddy?
6.
You actually might have seen Damon do that thing, and he's still doing it.
Dr. Ted is not okay.
No, he's not. He promises. Like a My Chemical Romance song.
Yep. I think that song was out by this point.
It came out in their... hang on, I gotta check.
No, My Chemical Romance was influenced by 9/11.
Okay.
So they would not have been out in 2002, I don't think.
Okay.
2006 maybe. But...
I think the first album, which was their debut, was 2006. So.
Okay, so he's not okay before it was not okay to be not.
It was
okay.
released in actually no, came out in 2004. So maybe.
Oh no. What just happened? Oh no.
Sees dead people, it's fine.
Exactly.
But
Reem may have dropped for just a second.
oh no.
Yeah, it does look like we're frozen.
Let me check my internet.
You froze for a second, so here on Zoom.
Your kid's playing with wires?
Okay, I hear our voices back. Or no, now
it
we're
just
down.
dropped for me.
I say, yeah, it's
Now we're back. There we
there.
are.
We go. We're back.
Sorry about that, friends. Technical difficulties. We were talking about My Chemical Romance. Nothing too important for the topic at hand. Great band, just not important for our current debacle.
Just trying to decide how emo Dr. Ted is.
Or maybe he's dead inside like Muse. We don't know.
He's
Well, yeah.
very emo. Let's be honest about this.
I'm playing him. He might be.
Listen, if you need to come to the therapy couch, I do I do sessions for mostly free. Just order me a pizza and we can chat. But yeah, Damon.
Sorry about that.
And welcome back. A little surprise break, 30 minutes in.
Mm-hmm.
The spirits are messing with our signal.
It happens.
I've probably pissed off a lot of eldritch things in my adventures, so maybe it's karma. But who am I to judge? But to answer your question, Damon, you do not know anything else because of the lack of your magic being successful. And you guys are headed back to where? Are we going back to your place, Professor Rox, your class? Are we going to Dr. Ted's office? Where do you guys want to go? Because Dr. Ted's car is still at the pub that you guys left.
I said my car is still at the pub.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is what's closer. I mean, because I feel like Professor Ox's office is a little ways off.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are in the middle point between the school and the bar was kind of the middle point for the school and like the town that you guys are right next to. So it's more, I guess. Professor Ox, here comes the question: do you live like in the more city's area, or do you own a couple of acres and you're just kind of out in the middle of nowhere with a couple cows? Like,
I am probably out in the middle of nowhere with a couple cows, staying away from everybody, and I probably have like a secret bunker underneath my house.
People think it was once a moonshining operation. Nope, this is where you keep your heavy artillery.
Yep.
You're also that one Kansas person who owns bear traps.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So
we all know the
there
guy.
may also be a moonshine still in there.
Yeah.
He's growing his own mushrooms.
Mm-hmm. It's,
Moo and boobs.
it's behind the painting of something inappropriate. Like
It's a Madeline Monroe poster.
yes.
Who is a tiefling in this universe canonically? So
nice.
That seems
She
right.
deserves that
yeah,
in a good way, not a bad way.
she was a wonderful woman. Super smart.
Yes.
Unfortunate.
Is it unfortunate that she was super smart, or unfortunate that she passed?
Unfortunate she left so quickly.
Yes.
I agree.
But so you guys want to head over to your place, Ox? Then
Yes.
okay.
I'll also
You guys-
probably have some like books and information that I can run through. That'll help me.
If you were the expert, maybe, but you might have you might probably have a ham radio set up so you can go.
I mean, like books, like
Books?
information that I can look into, like reading. Like I probably have a small bookshelf or two of information where I can it's like I can do some research and figure out what the heck this thing is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
Sorry, not to
Um,
interrupt you.
how dare you talk when it's a role playing game and it's
I was
communications
just-
important?
I was just trying to be clear within my
Silence!
intentions.
Anyway, because he was just getting popular now too. Anyway, you guys are on the main road for a while, and then you take some turns left, then right. Now you're on a dirt road, left again. Now it almost feels like you're on cobblestone. It's so like they kept trying to put down the white stones instead of actually putting pavement or actual like dirt to try to make it feel better. So just probably not very good for this car, but it's fine. Another turn, and you see a locked fence that says trespassers will be shot, go away. Just, the most friendly stuff, the best kind of person you want to go visit on Halloween.
Literally, there's just a sign there that says, "Hey, Aludra, came in with the raid. How's it going?"
Ooh, hello, welcome Raiders.
Hello.
I told Aludra about our little show. Thank you for coming by.
Yeah.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Ramona says hello as well.
Oh, it was part of the raid. How the turns
Yeah.
have tabled.
Ooh. Hi. Well, welcome in. We're in the middle of trying to hunt down a monster, figure out what it is. We've got Ghost Dog and Ghost Lady that wants to blow up people's heads.
An option.
The options there both make sense.
Yes, or Cthulhu.
Or
But,
Cthulhu itself, which
But we're hoping it's not Cthulhu.
which in that situation, say la vie, I'm out.
I don't know if Dr. Ted could honestly handle the aspect of a giant creature with tentacle mouths and tiny wings existing in reality.
I feel
Oh.
like if he did see that, that would be like the thing that snaps to either like put him into like, okay, whatever, or
Like,
just
we're-
like completely go insane.
mean, H.P. Lovecraft does
What?
exist in my universe, and he was smoking similar things to what Dr. Ted was smoking earlier to find that. So,
Mhm.
True.
just food for thought.
You have a point.
But you are all after locking up and going up to the place. Why don't you describe your humble abode, Professor Ox, in under 5 minutes, so we are not here for too long.
So obviously there's like a farm gate that I have an automatic button to, and I know you said that was like locked and like chain locked, but I like to imagine that I have a like keypad code that I can do, and it undoes the lock and everything drops for me. And then you just see it go open up like that. There's cement blocks all the way across there. Or no, it's not cement blocks. It is like a chain fence like you would see at a automobile sales. So it's something that you can't see, but not like in the dark, but it's there. So I deal with a lot of cars that swerve off the road and get caught in it and get their shit ripped out and whatnot pretty often. But
It's pretty fancy for a professor
I don't know.
in the middle of Kansas.
I mean, it's just a chain fence. Yeah. And then obviously door, whatever. And like, it's my one thing that I spent a lot of money on was my fence to make sure that my place was secure. And then like you come in, it looks like an older house. Like it's well kept, but probably in need of a paint job or some like scraping, but he's got like a secret compartment for his keys and whatnot. He's got shit that he's just set up that you can see that's like hand carved and like worked to be able to be done. And then you guys come in, it looks like not just like it has bare necessity things. It has like a desk, a chair, a nice chair, a fireplace, and then an upstairs where he goes to sleep. And then he takes you over to next to the stairs where you see just like a flat wall. And then he just clicks something or presses a part of it, pops out, and the handle comes out and the door opens. And you just see a stairwell going downstairs into his wine cellar, quote unquote. I think that's about all I can think of right now. That and just vast amounts of like field.
Is there a dog? Is he a dog, or does he have a cat? Or
I think he has like a hedgehog off to the side. side that you just hear goes on its wheel, just going fucking crazy because it's nighttime. And hedgehogs are nocturnal.
Yes, they are. And hedgehogs, if you don't know they're there, leave nasty surprises on your feet, or they end up as roadkill.
I used to have a hedgehog, and I fucking love that little guy.
I feel like Professor Rox is a dire hedgehog, so it's not this big. It's not the size of like a boar.
Yeah. And it's got like a big old like sleeping area just off to the side that you can see that it's like the fanciest part of his house where it's just like pillows and shit like that. And its name is Doris.
And you just all hear as you see this, like I said, wild boar shaped hedgehog just follow you guys down the stairs.
I'm just imagining, because it was apparently going ham on a wheel, how big the wheel has to be.
Oh, it's like it's like in the ground, like trampoline size, but it's just a treadmill. So it's like as he goes, like it just moves the ground, and it's like tapered off, so I don't, to it.
I say I'm just imagining one of those ones you can get for cats, like the just giant cat.
I was thinking it was originally meant for a water wheel because this place might have been a mill at some point that he just like removed some of the pillars, so it's just this giant.
No, the wheels that I used for my hedgehog was like a saucer.
Okay.
And it had like a thing that spun on. So
okay.
I mean, you
Felt
could
like
have
it
had
was-
the house be hedgehog powered. All I'm saying.
And it just walks up to you guys and it tries to lean up on you, Professor, and just seems to be trying to get a treat.
Okay. I pat her because I'm used to the quills already, and so they aren't poisonous anymore. Fun fact about the quills and hedgehogs, they're fantastic. They only prick you until they know you. So once they get used to your scent, it no longer hurts. Your guys' hands, if you go to touch her, will go slightly numb for about an hour.
Well, longer because it's giant, but yeah.
But like I know, but like you start feeling like a tingly in the numbness within your hands and such. I put my hand on her, pet her, and she's like, "Dorsh is a friend, not a battery." And I pull a little treat from out of my pocket and just hand it to her. It is a massive fucking worm.
You have a jar.
Yes, I have a jar of like, it's like a small box that I just have that looks like a cigarettes box. I pop it open, and it's like a cigarette-sized worm that I just give to her. I feed a whole chicken on Friday. You should come over. It's quite an event.
Coming down to this bunker, I'm gonna just speed run this a little bit. You see that there's an old uniform that looks like he probably did a couple of tours in, a little plaque with medals, and you see an arrangement of all sorts of weaponry. Things from scimitars to what looks to be a bracelet that says "Do not touch," to several different types of firearms from all different eras, and a small bookshelf that's holding about 6 books. These are the books, if you'd like to try to do some investigating, you can.
There's also like a glass case that just has a black pearl in it that's completely locked up, and you see runes that have been like written on it.
Yes, there are definitely some things that are covered in runes and things like that.
There's literally a sign on it that just says "fuck off."
Yeah.
Damon is drawn to anything that has "fuck off" written on it. Absolutely. That's where his attention immediately goes.
Oh God. I will begin investigating one second.
Dr. Ted, what are you doing while this is all going on?
So while this is going on, at first I am like completely fascinated by the giant hedgehog. Like Dr. Ted is just staring at that, like just.
It looks up at you and kind of tilts its head as hedgehog's doing, then just licks its nose.
And then, once we get downstairs, he's gonna start pulling books off the shelf and just flipping through, and he's specifically looking for giant dog, or not giant dog, but like just ghost dog. Like that's.
Do you speak any does Dr. Ted, is he bilingual?
That wasn't ever anything I put into his.
He is tripping on
backstory.
magic.
That is true.
He's tripping on magic.
That is true, but I'm just curious because some of the languages that we know also mean other things in my world. So like, did he like take a couple classes of like Spanish or French in high school?
Oh, he
like,
definitely would have learned Spanish for sure. It allowed him to be able to kind of expand out his practice, and he can bring in a lot of like couples that are working on farms or kids that are having issues with moving, and allows him to be able to work with those teens specifically.
Okay.
With the farms and everything in the area, it just makes sense for him to know English and Spanish.
You open up the book, and you remember in Treasure Planet, the book where all the hologramic like things start to fly around you like that. As you're flipping pages, things are doing that for a second. You blink and they're gone, so you can't tell if it's this or it's the book. So it's fine.
Guys, these books are weird. Just saying.
You open up a certain page, there's a picture of things that you definitely should be looking at. You're like, and you flip over to the next picture. It looks like the professor doesn't keep all of his things, but he should. Or maybe this is his private inspector and didn't expect strangers to be looking through his books.
Sure. I don't know if you understand anything that's in that book.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. I figured I'd try and help you. I was really looking for ghost dogs.
If I would say that you probably do have the beginner's index, Professor Ox, of like all the like these are monsters and like how what you should do to deal with them. Like
I take the book from his hands, grab like a little tiny one that's yellow, and it says "Dummy's Guide to Magic." It's like, yeah, this should be easy for you.
Thanks.
I think once Damon has looked at the fuck off things for a second, I do think he is going to try to use a jinx to maybe see if he can cause some coincidences.
Okay.
Maybe give us a +1 moving forward, or whatever thing we're trying to find, a -1 moving forward, or interfere with some things cosmically.
Yeah, go ahead and roll that weird.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
Why don't you describe what a jinx is as you're rolling?
Yeah, so a jinx is exactly what I was kind of saying, where it's what he used to make all of the tires pop earlier. It's magic that causes coincidences. It encourages coincidences. That's an 11.
11. Okay.
Yes.
Well
I'm excited about that 11.
What does it do on an 11? Or is this just another magic, like, just see what happens sort of vibe?
On a 10 plus hold 2, my options are interfere with a hunter, giving them -1 forward, help a hunter, giving them +1 forward by interfering with their enemy, interfere with what a monster, minion, or bystander is trying to do, inflict 1 harm. Actually, I realized I didn't use the jinx on the tires for the cops. I used magic. Interfere with what a monster, minion, or bystander is trying to do. Inflict 1 harm on a target due to an accident. The target finds something you left for them. The target loses something that you will soon find.
Okay.
And I think one, I love the idea of our target being whatever creature we're hunting, losing something that we're about to find.
Okay. I can definitely add that when we get to that. What both of you see is all of the lights in here. Dr. Ted, you'll notice that there are no light switches and there are no like plugs or anything for the lights in here. When you walked in here, the lights were just running, and like you don't see any batteries. But what you do see are sigils, little sigils drawn on all the electronics or things that would be considered electronics. Here, go ahead.
Sorry.
No,
Real
go
quick,
ahead.
as this happens, you will absolutely hear a punk record on cassette. And I do feel, unless you would feel otherwise, I do feel like he hits play using the golden button, like he touches the golden button in some way to do this.
I will say this. I was going to describe it and see if you liked it, but the button was going to be involved a little bit. So as you're looking through the so this is your first kill for dummies. You're flipping through the pages. It's all in English. They're like, okay, sure. Like there's a little Spanish like page so you can flip it over. It's a pretty big book, about yay big. All of you And Professor Ox, as you're kind of looking through the more advanced versions of your personal like ledger, if you would, you see all of the seals, and you start hearing the record, um, or the album, whatever Damon is playing. Yeah, what's the song? What you playing?
Oh, I don't have the Spotify list pulled up.
In Too
But
Deep by Sum
it
41.
is something by Bad Religion.
Oh, okay.
It is
I went
late 90s skate punk.
Okay. I went a wrong direction on what I thought was punk, because I was like 2001. That's like Sum 41, right?
So there is I don't know if that might be 2001. But yeah. But I know late 90s, 90s-ish. We've got, Bad Religion, No Effects, Gangrene. So he probably I'm most familiar with Bad Religion, so that's the one I'm gonna pick.
He's sitting there just kind of playing with the with his little cassette player. Just in his hands, like moving it side to the side, kind of just flipping it almost, just making sure he's not messing with his cord. Professor, all of your little sigils that are on your electronics glow bright, as if you think they're about to pop, or turn off. You look behind him, and he's just kind of closing his eyes as he's focusing on something. Once again, he's now kind of vibing to the music as he's sitting there, and you see the button begin to glow, almost like a candle through a lens, as if something's going on. One of you also catch it as well, Dr. Ted. You're like, what? As all the lights they don't flicker, but they seem to grow brighter for a second, like someone's just turning up a light switch, turning up the brightness. You turn over. It doesn't matter which one of you say, "Oi, kid, you good?" He looks, and everything goes back to the way it was. He did not seem to notice in any way. That's if you want to do it that way, Damon, or you want to do something else. It's totally fine. That's what I was thinking if you're going to be doing your magic-y stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we can go with that. I was kind of leaning a little bit more on the musical side being included of it.
Your body was moving to the rhythm, or like glitching with the rhythm of the song. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Like when you remember when, I hate to say this, when you used to put like the CD in like the Xbox or in a player that would show the music, and it would show those pulses of like the song as it's moving around. I don't remember what those were called. Brain is doing a
visualizers.
Yes, basically that's what your body is doing to the song. You're kind of expanding with the guitar, the drum, the music, just kind of. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. And he's probably playing, if anybody knows Bad Religion, he's probably playing the No Substance album. So, just so you know.
Nice.
Very nice.
And doing more research, Dr. Ted, you go to the kill, what do I do next? And one of the things it says is, do not work. There's good news and bad news. The good news is that you'll be able to find out what the creature is. Bad news is, until you discover its pattern, meaning more people die, you are really just in the waiting game. Don't worry. You go to this version though, you can see what certain patterns are, so you can kind of prepare for it. Get your rock salt, get your iron, your black iron, all that stuff. It's a very interesting book, and you could probably enjoy it if you had it in the space of your own place and were not getting investigated and your shoes being licked by this giant hedgehog.
All right.
Okay.
So, I've got a little bit of information out of this book. Just about enough to realize that I have no idea what I'm doing.
Can that be the quote for this year, just 2023 in general?
I'm going to take the book from him. Look at what he's found. Can I roll to...
He's on the page that I was just saying, literally just like, your first, like, someone died. What do I do next? It's literally like chapter 2. He was just kind of skimming through. He hasn't gone to the index part of it, because the index is most of the pages. Like, there's 200 pages of different types of monsters, how to kill them, or how to get rid of them, because some creatures you cannot kill on this plane.
Hmm.
And no one wants to take a dip into the no one wants to take a dip into the Everwatching's domain and say, "Hey, can I kill some of your ghosts that are pissing people off over here?"
Yeah. So I'm gonna
I
get
see.
like some weapons prepped while they're doing whatever they're doing. Um, I'll wait till Damon's done to even mention the fact that he was glowing. Whatever.
Okay.
Ox, I think the gist of what I got from that, at least when I was reading it, it sounds like more people need to die, which sounds horrible because more people shouldn't need to die for us to figure out why this guy died.
Yes, it's terrible. Now,
It's like a bad serial killer.
there's a
Like-
12 gauge rock salt
It-
splatter.
Rock salt.
Yes.
Out of a shotgun?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but I don't like guns.
I hand you a knife blessed with the blood of a vampire.
Black iron weapons.
Yeah.
Well, they don't need to be blessed particularly. If you look at the blade, it looks like someone just took a sharp piece of rock and attached a handle to it. It's jagged. It's uncomfortable. Black iron in real life, or in this also, it's just raw iron. It hasn't been smelted. It hasn't been like through a forge or anything. It's just a sharp, jagged piece of black-looking iron. On it, you do see a few runes that you see similar to the ones up there that seem to do something and kind of glow, and you turn in the light. It almost looks holographic. Like, that's kind of cool. But it's just this jagged piece of metal that he gave you. A shiv, you think, would probably be more efficient. And you're 98% sure if you touch this thing, you might get tetanus.
Stabby tool. Block of iron stabby tool. Got it. I got it.
I throw
Better than my pocket knife.
I throw a like sheath for it. It's like, yeah.
Mhm.
And
Thank
then
you.
continue to
Within my
load the
belt.
different guns that I have.
Is there any conversation we want to go to before we jump to the next victim? I'll do a little recap.
I'll
on what's
look at
going on there.
Damon and just kind of make eye contact with him. You know, you were glowing there for a second. You also do this whole glitchy thing that you do.
I was glowing and I did it. Have you been smoking some of the?
I don't smoke it.
That was just
You
me.
just have it, and
It's
give
to
it
ward off
people to
It's
smoke?
to ward off like demons and shit like that.
I mean, secondhand smoke is a real killer.
It's not. Okay, fine, whatever.
But I was glowing.
Hmm.
I mean, I was in my
Yes.
mind palace, we'll call it. I don't know.
In the Zen, one might say. The meditation
if
was
I
pure.
I was trying to nudge things. If that makes any sense. I don't fully understand it yet. It's kind of hard to predict.
Damon, why don't we approach this the same way that we do when we're in my office? Slow down. I want you to focus on an idea, an image for me. And as you have that image appear in your mind and start to come forward, describe that image to us.
Damon,
there's-
if you'd like, this can be a scene where you are getting a premonition, and that way you can just kind of segue into the vision I'm about to give you guys. Because it's
Ooh.
one of your things, and I'm trying to let you use all your flashy bits.
Absolutely.
Dr. Ted, there is a mirror if you want to try to show it to him as he's giving you this vision, so he can see what you guys are talking about, or you could just let him talk and
Yeah,
see if it
no.
actually happens.
I'll pull the mirror off and I'll bring it over and I'll sit down in front of him and I'll have him sit down in a chair in front of me and we'll like start a session as I describe, all right, well, we're just gonna, I want you to calm down. I want you to breathe in for me, okay? We're gonna count backwards from 10. 10.
Okay. Good. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. A shotgun kind of makes this hard.
I understand.
Rack a freaking Glock real quick.
Focus on your breathing. Focus on the numbers as you count backwards.
5,
All right. We're getting
4,
closer. Closer.
3.
I want you to start seeing
2,
what it is that you're trying to describe in your mind.
1.
Their
All
eyes
right.
open up, and Dr. Head in this light, it is a little dimmer because this is an underground area, but you see in his eyes, similar to how his body glitches, just little vibrations and movements, of just pure color floating in his eyes. As he tells you this, you don't need to repeat me because I feel like that'd be annoying for our audience. But, Damon, as you're sitting there in the vision, fiddling with your Walkman, if you would, you see a gentleman walking from his truck into his little work desk. Seems to be a carpenter of sorts. Maybe it's a profession. Maybe it seems to be a hobby of sort. He has a lathe. He has a bunch of different tools that are specifically dealt with wood carving. And it seems that he was in the middle of a project before. He puts on glasses, kind of wipes away all the dust, grabs one of the tools and turns on the lathe, as seems to be working on some sort of cup, some sort of wand. You can't tell. It's some sort of leg. It's a decent piece of wood. Turns it on. As he begins to do it, something catches him on the corner of his eye. He turns, nothing's there. He gets back to work, turning the lathe back on. You can tell he's been doing this for a long time with how efficient he is with his tools, and like he knows how to back up if he's pulling his tool away. It's not a weapon, but he's going at it. And something seems to happen, and he kind of shakes his head as he continues to work. Eventually, like a bunch of dust goes into his, like, oh, for crying out loud. He takes him off, and he continues to work. And he seems to be the lathe begins to move faster than he's expecting, and he's trying to carve a piece of wood. It bounces. It seems to bounce, like he hits a knot that he was unaware of, and the tool goes clean through his eye, back through the back of his head. He stands there shocked, and then falls into the tool, and then you see the tool go all the way through as his face begins to be smoothed to the bone, if you would. If you look up for a moment as that's ending, you do see yourself vibrating, like I've been mentioning, to the sound of the lathe that you were hearing, the zzz, with the sounds every time you use this tool. And you look up, and your body seems there, but almost like sound. It's hard to describe. And you blink, you're back to normal, and the vision is gone.
Did Damon describe this yet?
You were describing it as it was going on.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I didn't have to reiterate or
no.
If I did.
Okay, Damon. So now that you've experienced that, you've described what you see within your mind, and you see what you are displaying on the outside, do you understand as we try to discuss what was going on with you? And do you recognize who that person was?
I've never seen them before.
Okay.
But it feels like they're linked.
As you're trying to think back to the moment, something that you do notice, as the body drops, you hear a tink, like two pieces of thin metal clinking, on their body on the table before he slowly just slides down onto the floor, very, very dead.
You could say death really polished him off.
Yes, you could. Oh, yep. Well, that's it for tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm very friends. Thank you for coming by. Um,
I'm out.
but if there's nothing else to be said for this day, we'll go to the next morning. If you guys wish to stay here, go to your own personal places. It is up to you guys. Because Damon, you are going to be late for your shift unless you go like right now.
You're fine
It's
to
fine.
stay if you wish. Doris loves a good cuddle buddy on the couch.
Doris walks over with a squeaky toy for the size of like a pit bull and just puts it down, and it kind of looks at you guys waggling their entire little
It looks like
hedgehog body.
It looks
think
like
I'm
a
okay.
pig. The toy. It's a little pig.
Can I so okay, before I gotta go, before I go, we need to keep our eyes out for accidents like this. This felt like it was real. Like it wasn't in my head. And I think it's related. So I need you guys to be reading newspapers or do you have cop radios?
I turn over to the
ham radio setup
that I have off to the side.
Okay, you may want to watch that. How far out of town are we? Because
turns on.
I gotta get to my shift.
You probably should drive him over, for us, Professor.
That's fine.
I say, I don't have a car. My car's at the bar.
I'll take them both back at this time. It's been long enough. But I'll each give them. Do I have the right to give them each like some kind of defensive thing?
You can. You don't have to put it on the book that you gave civilians, monster hunting weapons.
I'll give them each like a knife.
Sure.
No,
It's about the length, and it's like a short sword. Like honestly, like each one of the blades are like at least a foot, if not like six. Like you can hide it in your like pants if you need to, or like put it on your belt and say it's whatever. But like you need like a deep pocket to hide these things. But they're also deep long enough so you can stab through somebody if you need to.
Yeah.
Whether it be a werewolf, a person, or a dragon's face if you really need to.
I really don't want to meet one of those.
No, you do not.
No.
Please no.
No, thank you.
No dragon faces now. I don't want to be dragging this face all around.
All right, you're 2 for 2. Watch it, mister.
All right. So I'll take them out. Does the individual that Damon described sound familiar, like the job and everything?
You don't meet or talk. I mean, there are plenty of people here that do wood cutting or wood carving as a hobby. You live in the middle of Rinky-Dink, Texas. There's nothing but trees.
Kansas.
To turn to it. In Kansas, yes.
You
Kansas.
live in Texas.
I currently live in Texas, unfortunately.
You doing good there, Brett?
Send help.
Oh God.
You all are able to get to your destinations that you wish to go to safely. I'm not for the sake of brevity and to speed up the process.
Brevity and speed is my name.
I thought it was Lucy. But
That's
you are all able to get to your places, whether it be work, sleep, panicking in your office once again and not going home to shower, whatever it might be.
I will be back in my office now, vigorously searching all over the internet that I can for whatever information, and even with the fact that I hate the net. Dr. Ted does not trust it in any way, shape, or form. He is now actively looking for accidents within his town that were unexplained.
I will go to sleep because it's probably not going to be reported until the morning anyway.
It's true.
One other thing, part of Damon's Jinx ceremony, he did get to do 2 of the effects. So the second one, he is going to try to cosmically interfere with whatever the monster is doing.
Yes. that there is an effect for that, and it'll be discussed after we
Cool.
get back from our break when time passed forward and you guys are going to the investigation, while the police are there, or whenever we get there. We'll discuss that, and we'll be back within 4 to 7 minutes.
All right.
Perfect.
We'll be right back. Bye-bye.
And welcome back. Hope everyone was able to get a nice bathroom, water, and snack break. But where we left off, people had unfortunately not survived. Someone had to die. It happens. Um, Mind you, there was about 2 billion less people on the planet about 20 years ago when the story takes place, so population wasn't that big of an issue as it is now. But despite that, someone has died, and it looks like an accident. Much more so than the previous person that passed away. That does not stop our three heroes from going to this person's residency. Professor Ox had a "this is my badge, you will do as I say or you'll be arrested," and was able to cover for Dr. Ted and Damon. However, Professor,
Yes.
I need you and the other two to roll me a combined, I believe it is still a charm check,
Mm-hmm.
Or a cool check if you'd like to roll for cool to try and act under pressure.
I would much rather run cool than.
You are acting under pressure. Combined, you need a total of 15 between the three of you to see if everyone believes your story or if everyone's panicking. Dr. Ted and Damon, you also roll.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I'm also gonna use my cool.
Yes,
Real
all of
quick.
you roll cool. You're all acting under pressure right now.
I got a
Real
10.
quick.
Awesome. 10. Yes.
Is this early morning or is this mid-afternoon type thing?
This is everyone's had the equivalent of a long rest. Like, so it's not like you just got off your 12-hour shift after being up for another 6 hours as you're doing investigation. You've had some Z's. Unless you'd rather just be hyped up on what's now new, Red Bull.
Well, yeah, he's definitely rocking a Red Bull because the gas station just got a case of them in, and he always skims one or two.
Had 5-hour energies entered the forbidden hour.
But yeah, because if he hadn't gotten a rest, that would be 2 straight days now without anything.
Yeah.
So
You definitely have had some of those Z's, as it were.
perfect. All right. That's a 6 for me.
Okay. All right. Professor Ox, what'd you roll?
14.
Y'all do so well. Damon's a little nervous, but you are able to get people in, and the body has been removed, or it's in a bag. As you it seemed like the guy just didn't show up for work. Then one of the people that came in to deliver a package, some more tools, saw that his garage was open. Said, "What the? Oh no!"
So I got my associate and my apprentice here. My apprentice is his first day on it. Don't give him any mind. He's fucking not. He's just a little bit nervous about to go see his first. Whatever, you know. So don't worry about it.
As Professor Ox is dealing with his own apprentice, the two of you walk in there. What do you guys do? The police give you guys some space, as whatever Professor Ox said seemed to convince them to get out of your way.
So I think Dr. Ted is going to walk in. He's going to look around, and the first thing he's going to start doing is he's going to start trying to find scents or smells or anything that might be coating the surface, like what was inside the car before. That's what he's specifically looking for initially.
All right, go ahead and roll the investigate a mystery. Damon, what you doing?
Damon has while he slept, he kept rehearing the last as the body falls off of the grinder thing, and you hear the metal tinkling type noise. And that has stuck with him all night. So he is going to whatever implement this is and wants to look on the bottom and try to find whatever that may be.
Roll investigative history also. Professor Ox, your two boys, one of them is looking for a tingling metal noise, and one of them is looking for scents or the things that were apparent last time. What are you looking for? Or if you're still dealing with child, you may still deal with small child. Dr. Ted, what'd you roll?
I rolled an 8.
An 8, excellent. So you get to hold 1 while you investigate a mystery.
Okay.
Your questions are: what happened here? What sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can it hurt? Where did it go? what was it going to do, and what is being concealed here? Considering you were looking for the smells and scents, I'd say what is being concealed here
Yep,
is
I
what
was gonna say that's what I would go with. Is what is being
Beautiful.
concealed here.
Sure enough, under the table, where the lathe is staying, it was turned off. Thank goodness. Don't want an electrical fire. Hey, Benson. You see more of the sulfuric powder, and surprisingly, it's not brain matter. It's not, but it has that same kind of like slimy feeling to it. It's mixed in with the powder this time instead of it being two separate things.
Okay.
So almost like what's that called? Cytoplasm.
Okay.
But yes, and what did you roll, Damon?
10.
10. Okay. Looking around, you do not see anything tinkling, but the body is still in a bag if you want to look in the thing with the bag.
Can I do a thing?
Yes, you can. I didn't know if you're
So,
back or not. And you're also
good.
very burry.
Oh, I am. very
Ectoplasm was what are called. I'm sorry, Dr. Ted. It seems
Ectoplasmic
almost like
powder.
ectoplasm, like slimy, like grossness.
Okay.
Mucus
So
almost.
you're like a psychologist, right, Dr. Ted?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna like, there's probably something that's got like crime scene photos in it, and since they're already bagging the body up and whatnot, so we can be able to reference it. I'm gonna take that and head it to Dr. Ted. It's like, what can you tell me about the situation? Like it tells about it all. Give me an analysis of what you can see from the evidence given.
From within the body bag?
Yeah. Give me some intelligent bit of insight from it.
I specialize. I mean, don't get me wrong, Dr. Ox or Professor Ox. I'm all over being able to help any way I can, but I specialize in the living brain when it can still talk to you. The dead brains aren't really the type of
You're
doctor
doing
I
this, and your hands are still sticky with the ectoplasm, or like whatever it is.
Like,
that
It's awful.
that looks
it's
terrible. What the fuck?
not my expertise. Now I can.
I hand like a tissue to him.
Thanks. I found some.
Open a Ziploc bag for him to put it in.
Here you go. I found some residue underneath the table that was mixed with, I do believe it was that yellow powder stuff that we found before, and like some sort of sticky ooze. Best I can guess is some sort of plasma. It was, I don't know. I became a
What color
psychiatrist
is this plasma?
It's semi-translucent, almost like it looks like mucus, like that you'd find like if you're really really sick.
So the sick mucus is like green tint or brown.
There's a little bit of a green tint to it, but it looks like it could be coming from a really sick looking brain.
Okay.
Yummy.
I'm not going to say other words for it because there are some other descriptors for it, which I don't want us to get either demonetized or banned.
All right. So we've got goo, we've got accidents, we've got wild and crazy stuff like people's heads blowing up for no reason. We've got
For
a
the
dude
record,
that slipped and falled and polished his head off.
And
we've
last
got
time you
goo.
thought that the ectoplasm gooey thing might have actually been brain matter, but there was no brain matter on the floor this time. So little difference here and there. So maybe that's important or not. Just giving you guys more information. If you'd like to roll investigate a mystery as well, Professor, you certainly can.
While that's going on, Damon is going to be peeking into the body bag.
Okay. The coroner has been here and seems like they've put a mask or something over the person's face, just a light little covering, after all the photos have been taken, just so that way when he's opened, he's like, oh, hi. Because you're in a small town in Kansas, even if the coroner does see a lot of things, that's not a normal sight to see. So that most part of the face, almost like a Spider-Man kiss, has been covered up except for his mouth that did not seem to be harmed in any way, shape, or form. Looking on the body, you do hear a tink. As you kind of open it up and kind of touch his chest, you pull out, and it's 2 dog tags. That clink together. You look at the name. His name is Henry Johnson. No relation to the last guy by any means, way, or sort. That you're aware of anyway.
Before we ended last session, I had grabbed something out of the car.
Yes.
Something that I didn't know what I had grabbed. I just grabbed it and ran.
Mhm.
Can I know we're in the middle of like a crime scene and everything. Can I look to see what that was now?
Go ahead and roll me a d6.
Okay.
Actually, I got 2 d6s. You know, it's a 2 d6 game. It just makes sense.
By the way, I rolled a 10 on my
A 10. Okay.
10.
10.
I'm
Okay.
getting really good rolls today.
You are, and now you said it, you're doomed.
Yes, I will. I've fucked myself. I'm going to die by this monster.
100%. When you reach into your coat pocket with the thing that you grabbed, to make things easier on you guys, and just, you know, the plot thickens, it was his dog tags. It seemed like he had them hanging up, and you look at them, and you look at the dog tags that, the young child that can talk to radios, have, and interestingly enough, they seem to be from the same, platoon.
That's what my question was going to be. I think we've got either connection between the two now. So, wait, go.
I was gonna say I am curious if I can use one of my holds on investigate a mystery, or if you're just free forming it.
You can definitely.
Cool with that.
What are you holding for your mystery right now?
So I have 2 currently.
Yes.
And I would like to. We'll start with where did it go?
Okay.
And Damon is going to start looking to see if there's some evidence of a departure or a trail that can be followed.
You, as you're looking at the dog tags, you look to the corner of your eye and you look at the garage door. Not the sliding one, but not the one that closes it, but the one leading into the house. It's slightly ajar. Like maybe an inch or an inch and a half. Like someone forgot to close it. Which is interesting. So you walk over to it, and as you're walking over here, and you're like, oh, and it smells like he just stepped on a rotten egg. As you look down, sure enough, there's more goo on the ground with more sulfuric powder. So you don't know if this is a way of entry or a way of exiting. Like this thing had to land here and then go to wherever the table was. So this thing, whatever ability it has via teleportation or whatever, it cannot go very far.
Okay.
Or maybe it was trying to be dramatic for itself. Like, I'm here now, and now I'm here. Die. You know, it's one of those things.
So I also got a 10 on investigating a mystery.
Yes. And I will let you know, Damon, the range from the front door to the lathe, the thing where he was murdered, was about 20 to 15 feet.
Okay. And so I have the dog tags, which is like a big freaking connection here. So honestly, I want to know what kind of creature it is. What sort of creature is it? Yeah, I've got it narrowed down to like ghosts or undead. The goo is playing into it, so it has something material within it. But it seems to create accidents or spontaneous things.
At this moment, considering the sulfuric powder and the goo,
it was hell stuff. That's right.
This is because of this, you have narrowed it down to it is definitely something undead.
Okay. I think I actually asked this last time.
Yes, but you didn't.
Told me.
You beforehand, the goo was not really a factor you guys were aware of because brain was all over the place, not just the goo. Because of the goo, but it's not very powerful or it's very young. So like this is something that died and then was sent down to hell, because I'm not going to go into my world lore about hell in this stream yet. It's a novice, it's young, or someone is using it sloppily and it's leaving a trace. Like most experienced undead things know better than to, one, leave their goo out for everyone to see, or have two really close together.
So whatever we're doing, we want to find it quick because it's just now starting, which means that it'd probably be a lot easier to stop.
Yes.
But the longer we take, the quicker, like, the harder it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll round up these individuals. I also have, like, another one.
Yes. You asked a question. Now we'll go back to Damon. Damon, what's your next question?
Yeah. So, I think, where did it go? I've already asked, and then his next question. I think. Let's see. We've done what is being concealed here. Where did it go? What sort of creature is it? We know what happened here, so that really leaves us like 3 or 4 questions to answer. And so
actually, I will say this: what's being concealed here is different because you are a different part of the investigation now, so you can ask it again and get a different answer.
Because that was the one I actually wanted to ask. Is what is being concealed here?
As Professor Ox is giving you a handkerchief so you can wipe off your shoe, you're leaning on one of the tables that has a bunch of other tools, and you're wiping it out. And you look up and you see a photograph of a full platoon. It looks like right next to it there are a couple different medals and rankings. It seems like this is where he kept his plaque. There's an American flag folded up and put up into the triangle like they have for veterans.
There's like is it like this guy and the other guy are right next to like another 2 people or something?
Yeah, well,
like that?
it's a full squad, so it's 10 people.
But like for these individuals, are they like connected? Like, are they closely sitting next to each other? Does it seem like they're because it may be like a full photo, but they may have like a choice of where they're standing. And
let's be honest, Damon is going to just steal the whole frame.
Yeah.
It's just gonna stuff it in his hoodie.
Okay.
I'll look at him like no, freaking, and then just hand him a big ass bag. It's like it's like take it.
It's in there. Like
no,
he's
stop. Yo, new. I'm like literally gonna start talking to him as if he's like the new guy. We have Ziploc bags so you don't cross contaminate this shit. Wear your fucking gloves. Put it in the bag.
I haven't actually
put
to get
it in the bag.
Fine.
And I'll just like take and I'll
whatever, boomer.
Damon,
fine.
we have discussed your kleptomania before. This is just coming out once again.
This is not the time, Dr. Ted.
I know, but it's
not
when times are coming forward. We should
give me the freaking Ziploc. Fine,
give it to him.
Whatever. All right.
And then after you're done with that, I'll throw some freaking gloves at your face. Like, put these on.
Professor, what's your last question you'd like to ask? Or I will say this: you can either just not answer, and then you can add +1 to your next roll, just because we've answered most of the questions here.
Yeah, I think I'll wait on it because there's only 2 that I'm really interested in, and it's what can hurt it, which I don't think we're there yet, or what can it do, which I don't think either one of those were there yet on understanding everything because we know it's undead.
Yeah. I'm gonna say you guys found like 5 out of the 6 clues that were here, so we can try to roll. I'll say you guys can have 1 more roll, or Dr. Ted can, because he only got his 1 roll, and you guys have been both kind of leading the investigation. Or we can move on to you guys being back at Professor Ox's or Dr. Ted's place, doing research with the data you guys currently have. Up to you, Doctor.
I mean, I wouldn't mind trying to dig into a little more, kind of I want to go and talk to some of the police officers and see if anybody really knew this guy.
Mhm.
With him being an ex or at one point in time serving,
Mhm.
he may have served with some of the other cops in town, or they're army
Same
buddies.
same
they
area,
talk.
yeah.
Yeah.
I need you to roll me a manipulate someone check or a charm check.
All right. Boxcars.
No dice.
Huh?
No dice.
No, it's 6 and a 6.
Oh, 12.
12.
Brain,
Oh,
box
shit.
card. Duh.
Boxcars.
Duh. Well done. Well
I-
done. Brain did not think that. So,
I didn't know what boxcars was.
Oh
Same.
yeah, no, sorry.
You're good.
not only do they do what you want to right now, but they become an ally for the rest of the mystery. So, the police officer you're talking to is actually someone that you helped save their marriage about 6 years back. So you haven't talked to in a while, but they always send you a Christmas card and a bottle of wine or whatever every Christmas, or like they invite you to their Christmas party because you saved their marriage. They've had 2 kids since then.
Nice.
They're the Phillips. His name is Jason Phillips. So he looks over and says, "I didn't realize you were working with feds now." Looking over to Professor Ox, who this is right about the time he's throwing the gloves into Damon's face.
I've started to expand my practice. I want to
Oh.
make sure that I'm fully incorporated. They needed someone that had my expertise, so just helping out where I can.
Yeah, sure. What can I do for you, Doc?
Are
you don't are you all right? You don't look like you've been sleeping. I know it's ironic coming from me telling you that, but you look tired.
I've been good. I'm on a new coffee diet. I'm just slamming
Oh.
back as much as I can. It's great. It's been really good for my health. It's good for my heart. You know, it came highly recommended. I recommend you do it too. It's donuts and coffee. I think it's gonna be
He blinks and he giggles a little bit. Yeah, whatever you say, Doc. What can I help you with?
What can you tell me about the victim? I know that he was ex-military and he served. I didn't know if you guys had talked or if you guys had served together.
He wasn't. So he was actually the medic for his squad. There's only 5 that live in this area. The other ones, they served back during. He's gonna mention a war that didn't exist in our world, but basically it was like 30 years ago. He's in his late 60s, retired, never married, no kids.
Okay.
This definitely was an accident. He might have been hitting the bottle a little too hard, and he points over to a little drinking counter, as it were, where you see a bunch of bottles of spirits, as it were. But there's no alcohol in his breath or even a cup at the spot, so unfortunate.
Sometimes our demons catch up to us, and we do our best to work through those. And I just wish I would have got here soon enough to be able to help him.
Yeah, we all do. He was good. He He had this weird recipe with burgers that were so good. We'd go on barbecues and sometimes, 4th of July parties, all that stuff.
Okay.
I see that in that they have the thing that I think that photo has information about all the platoon members, so maybe you can get some more information from them. I only talk to them on occasion, but it's something you might be able to.
No, I appreciate it. Every little bit of help, kind of moves us forward towards what we're aiming for. How's the kids doing? How's the wife? I haven't had a chance to catch up.
Well, and he'll go into how their oldest son, which is a son they had afterwards, he now just turned 5, and he just succeeded his first belt test for the local karate dojo that he just went to. And the little one, she's 2, and she is just learning words from watching Sesame Street, so that's a very exciting time. But also, she has a little cassette where it's just Elmo singing, and he's kind of on his last nerve with Elmo. If he hears Elmo again, he might break the record, but that's that typical parent stuff,
Can I just, in the most assertive way possible, but also being kind, just walk by Dr. Ted and just be like, "We're going."
To be fair, Dr. Ted, congratulations, you got the 6th piece of evidence, and everybody gets an experience point for getting all of the clues. So if you want to mark yourself an experience point.
Yay! I don't know how that works. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there's no like you need to get more XP each level. Every time you critically fail, or anytime the DM decides or the gatekeeper decides, you gain an experience point. After they're all filled, you level up, and then we give you a
Yay.
leveling up process.
Dope. I love that.
I'm at 3
I got
Nice.
3.
because I can't roll for shit.
I've got 1.
Until you roll box scars, apparently.
Until I roll box scars.
Hey, it's either all in or fucking all out.
That's my only option.
All right. You guys leave, and where do you guys go to do research and analyze all this stuff and all that jazz?
My office would be down the street.
Okay.
He would be closer this time.
Right next to the dead guy. Got it. Come on.
Okay. Taking all your stuff, your assistant is surprised you have such colorful guests. Oh, and hey, Damon, they say, smiling to you as you walk in. Glad to see you're coming back. Is looking for sucks this your grandfather, or he's not your dad?
No, that's his grandfather.
Oh,
We're coming in for a group session, so
Yes,
we'll be in
little.
my office for a little while.
Yes, little demon here seems to have need help with old Pappy's war stories. It helps to calm him down through his glitching moments.
sure.
Yep.
Did I ever tell you
Nothing-
about the man that I shot from
nothing
30 clicks
quite-
away?
Quite like violence. All right. Professor Ox.
Head popped like a
I'll-
fucking zit. It
I'll-
was crazy. I saw it all through the scope.
Not again, Grandpa. Please, let's go. Not again.
Good luck. I'll prep coffee.
I appreciate it. It's a little PTSD.
I could
thing.
see the
It's-
man's soul dropping to hell. It was...
and I just shove him through the door and slam the door shut.
Remember what we learned, Grandpa? Happy thoughts.
These are happy thoughts, son.
You put
Oh my
on
God.
your loudest / calmest or jazz record that you always use to settle in the mood. Put on an incense stick.
Cowboy Bebop.
Listen, if we need to listen to some Tank right now, we can listen to some Tank right now, but that's an after stream thing, my friends. Going through the investigation, I'm not gonna make you guys roll for it. You have all the information. What you're able to find is, with the power of the interwebs and Dr. Ted's laptop that he has that Damon uses because he is the tech whiz of this group, ironically. Doing some research into the photo, the officer was right. There was people, all the names of the people that were here. A couple of them have lines through them and give a date in the past, meaning they probably are passed away. There are 4 that are circled. You're guessing ones that are local because they're addresses, so that you can send cards, they can hang out, whatever. One of them seems recently crossed out. The ink is still relatively fresh, meaning it's the last couple of days. You figure out it's the guy that died the day before. And there's one of them doing some quick inserts. Out of the 2 that are left, one of them has a wife and kids, happy, healthy. One of them just it got a scholarship to one of the local colleges for football, and the other one does track and field, and they're decently fast. The other one, however, according to the squad, seemed to be kind of a awful parent and partner to their spouses, but again, this is about 30 years ago, so these are all older guys. But during the 60s and 70s, he left for the Call of War and didn't send support back to his wife and kid. Wife left, kid alone at the house one day, and kid didn't last very long. Just didn't survive. Doing some research though, she took her maiden name back. You find her that she is doing well, and she remarried. To a heart surgeon, actually. She lives in the Connecticut area.
What a goddamn step to take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can't find her phone number or anything like that quite yet. If you'd want to contact her, but
You can go talk to the heart surgeon.
Phone books are still a thing.
that is true. But you guys are in Kansas, and they live in Connecticut. Or she lives in Connecticut. Oh, the other guy's here though. Yeah, he's
Oh,
still
God.
living at the same address. Sorry, brain.
Okay.
So, yeah, he's still there. He lives by himself, and Ox, you recognize his name, Terry. His last name's Terry.
His last name's Terry?
Yeah.
Is his first name Cruz?
No. But to humor you, it's CJ Terry.
CJ
Short
Terry
for
in this place.
short for Carolyn.
Carolyn?
Carolyn, but he goes by CJ.
Hmm. What a masculine name.
He's the drunken bum at the bar every week. Like every night you go there, he's the guy that everyone avoids, but he is technically a war buddy, and people will give him some respect because he technically did get a Purple Heart for the squad when he was out there. He was a war hero, but apparently coming back to find out that his kid didn't make it kind of wrecked him a little bit. And apparently never got closure from that. Consequences for your own actions, you know?
Fuck, man.
What is the likelihood that I would have had him? Now, granted, I specialize in mostly, teens and marriage counseling. But what's the likelihood that I would have counseled him at some point?
If you had offered, he probably would have told you to piss off, except much, much ruder than I just did.
Perfect.
Even with like maybe some spit in your eye, sort of like that, he just gives off the "I don't want to be talked to, leave me alone."
Okay, so
perfection.
So we go to his house, right?
If you want to.
Any other information that we're gleaming from all this? No. I think that's our next lead. Is that we go give him a little.
That's the closest thing you have to a lead.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that's what we need to do next.
All
we
right.
just need to show up on his door, knock, and offer our help without any sort of lead up.
All right. So you're gonna knock on the door. I'm gonna be in a building, on the roof, down the way. As long as the windows are clear, I'll get a good set, and I'll be covering you both with a sniper rifle.
That sounds like a great. Are we going to kill him?
That's up to him.
I thought our goal was to save people here, not to kill everybody.
Well, yeah, there's a chance that there's an amateur, and this guy might just be like, starting out.
We have already seen a couple of people die. I don't really want to see more of them. If you're gonna shoot this guy, do we need to be standing there?
No, you don't have to. As long as I get a clear shot of him.
Dr. Ted.
I took an oath.
You're not the one pulling the fucking trigger. I am.
You remember looking through the book? One of the rules that he is definitely neglecting, that it said like on the first page, never kill civilians unless you have 100% sure they have witnessed something they shouldn't, or are doing things that are 100% going to kill people around them. Doesn't mean that you're following it, Professor Ox, but that's something he definitely read.
I am doing this merely because as like a safety issue, just in case. I don't want to be in the mix of it. Granted,
just in case he's a demon dog.
Yes, I mean, like, I can go with you if you wish. I've got old Bertha here, and it's a sawed-off shotgun.
He puts on his largest overcoat, like Highlander style, with the katana.
I pull up my belt and put it right there in between my crotch and like in a holster there.
Do not put a holster between your legs for the record.
And I'll put my 38 into my like just on my leg holster. Okay. So, all right, fine. I'll go inside with you. I'll freaking leave the sniper rifle outside. So whose call are we taking?
You were able to pick up your
mine,
car.
Obviously.
You
and your two Subarus?
My Subaru's in the parking lot. We can take that
without
an issue.
Duh.
And if we go out the back door of the office through then we can avoid my secretary goblin. That's still getting used to.
I don't know about you, but she's kind of hot, and I'll start leaving.
Ew. No.
Hey.
People are into the short women with long, pointy ears, man.
Hey. They will
Who
do
have
Doc,
you
things.
I
judged?
didn't,
They
I-
will do
Doc-
things that no one else will.
Doc, I don't think I was gonna say this, but I am gonna want to book another session so I can get that out of my mind.
That's I can
Oh,
understand
young
that.
minds.
Anyway, you're able to find his address easily enough, and if you try to call beforehand, there's no pickup. The place that you go to has a for lease sign that has been there probably longer than legally allowed to, but no one's taking it down. As it's mostly covered in long grass. It's cliche. This house hasn't been taken care of because this person is not doing well, in the best mindset. Trash is all over the place. Who approaches and does the first knock?
I'll kick Ted in the butt.
Dr. Tittle. Dr. Ted kind of gets shoved up there. Walks up and he'll just rap.
Damon is probably gonna stand by the side of the house on the other side of the door with like his skateboard tucked under, ready for just in case we don't.
Yeah. It's you guys are in the slight country. It's not a like community per se, but like if this was a road, it's the last house on the road, right before there seems to be a little bit of a water source or a lake. The door opens up a spaces, and you see this man disheveled, looks like there's a bit of drool that he just woke up from, smells like 4-week-old Chinese food that's been left out in the sun.
I'm gonna...
balding
As he
over
opens the door and everything kind of hits him. I just feel like Dr. Ted's gonna like have to take a step back for a second and just fight a wince.
his eyes are sunk in, and you do see a nasty bit of scar tissue right here. It looks like maybe he took a bullet, or like maybe he got hit during his time there that just never healed properly and didn't take care of it.
I'm going to click my little watch that tells me a magical thing. Am I getting any reading?
Get to that in a second. What do you want?
Hello, my name
Hi.
is Dr. Ted, and I am here to talk to you for a moment. Do you have a place we could sit down and have a conversation? I have some news I need to share.
Roll me a manipulate someone.
10.
10.
Hey!
This is what Dr. Ted is good at.
Yes. Yeah. 1 second. And you see that there is a genuine spittoon on his counter that he just missed your shoe with, and he spat a large glob of not tobacco but a brown liquid from his mouth into the spittoon. As he goes in, he unlocks the door. You see him grab some sort of coat, and he comes out. Mind you, it is like early September in Kansas, so it's still pretty warm, but he seems to try to be a little bit more presentable. I got a couple chairs out the back. You can follow me under these.
These are my associates.
Hello, Shaw. I shake his hand.
Howdy. And he will not make eye contact or even look at Damon. As he points to a couple of lawn chairs that are more now lawn than chair, as they have been. He has not mowed any part of his lawn or weed whacked anything, it seems like, in a long time. You almost feel like your knives that he gave you would be more appropriate as machetes at this point, actually. But there's a little bit of a pier that he sits you guys out at, and you see him take out a big old nasty looking cigar and just begin to light it and just kind of sit there and say, "What can I do for you, doctor?"
All right, so I bring sad and unfortunate news.
My buddy that died yesterday, yeah, I saw it. It was unfortunate.
Your buddy that died yesterday at the bar, but unfortunately, I have to let you know that another friend has passed.
What?
Yeah, he was working, it looks like, on a new piece on his lathe, and he slipped and is no longer with us.
Profanities. And the kind that would make a sailor blush. So you are very uncomfortable, Dr. Ted. He sits back down. You see him take a flask out of the pocket of his thing and just not a sip. He drinks it dry, then puts it back in. That's just great. And he is doing his best to hold back tears and failing terribly.
It's okay to allow yourself to feel the emotions. It's part of the stages of grief.
Do you understand anything about grief?
Unfortunately, I understand it far too much.
Just to kind of shorten the process and not to make anyone uncomfortable dealing with pains of display of trauma and dying and death, because it's an uncomfortable topic. We're going to speed forward a little bit and go to Professor Ox. With your scanner thing, there is a subtle little glint coming from his room, but it seems distant or old, like it hasn't been activated well. So that kind of just like generic hum of like there's something in here that might have a thing, but it hasn't been used in a long time.
Can I, since they're gonna go meet in the back, can I hang back and maybe check to see if the door's locked?
It's not if you're hanging back there.
Can I, just look into the house?
Roll act under pressure. Perform your coup.
Thank you.
And Damon, you gonna hang out with the doctor or the professor?
The guy ain't looking at me at all. Damon is for sure investigating the place.
I got 12.
12. I don't like you anymore, Don. I've decided.
Hey, I just have a +3, okay?
Yeah. Anyway, you literally go and you click the door to see if it's unlocked. He didn't even close it all the way, and it just opens. And it should have creaked because when he opened it, you creaked. But for some reason, ungodly reason, you're able to step through, and your fingers on the door the entire time. No creaking, no nothing. You just slip right in like a ghost.
Actually, Damon will be with Dr. Ted.
Okay.
Because at some point, I'm going to try to read this guy's mind.
So,
okay.
I get to do something, so on advanced...
So you got in no
plus.
problem, you get to do something extra.
Okay. I'm going to find the thing.
Okay. This place is in disarray. It has not been cleaned recently, and it's not going to, you're guessing. You go into a room, though. The door is covered in dust, and even the handle, you take a cloth and open it softly. And it's a room that hasn't been touched, it looks like, in decades. The posters are very, very old. All memorabilia that be popular back when you were serving.
So a nostalgia room.
No.
No?
A son's room.
Ah, got it. Oh! Yeah, that's right.
It looks like it hasn't been... Anything has been touched or moved, or you don't even think the light bulb in here works anymore because it just hasn't been turned on. It's easy enough, though, to find what the magical thing is, as you find... Actually, I'm going to give you an option. Would you like to find the magical item or find a clue to help you? Because there are two different things, and you get one extra thing.
I want... I'm gonna go with... If I can't find the thing, then yeah.
You'll find the thing, or you'll find an extra clue on what this exactly happened.
I feel like the clue would be the best thing to get. But I want the magical... Nah, he'd probably go for the clue.
As you're about to go touch the magical thing, it looks like it's in some sort of tote or like old box. You look and you notice that one of the posts that's hanging up, which is the Beatles, let's just say, their Octopus Garden album. I don't think that's correct, but you know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Don't shun me. I haven't looked at the albums in a long time. I just listened to the music.
I totally am a huge Beatles fan.
You notice that one of the posters, and you pull it down, and you see text written in an old tongue it looks like an incantation of vengeance. Um, and in between each one of them are written in words, "I am alone, you left me," and repeated in several different languages. And you could tell after a certain point, whoever was writing this lost themselves. As it begins to become more sloppy, and they're using a different letter per alphabet. And to speed this up, because we're reaching our closing point, but because we want to get to this point, I am going to fast forward a little bit.
Okay.
I need Dr. Ted and Damon to both roll me 2d6. Not the professor.
Okay. I just like having my dice.
Are we adding anything?
No.
Okay.
This is let's see what happens and how much fun Brett gets to have. Roll
3.
3. Okay.
5.
5. You both can mark XP. As Professor Ox, you feel all of the moisture in your lungs freeze for a second, which is uncomfortable, and you begin to smell sulfur and ooze. And your little radar thing goes as if it's getting a large beep. And it even comes to the point where, Damon, as you're kind of sitting in the back about to read this guy's mind, well, you'll read his mind, but you're hearing the noise from behind you, even though you're about 30 feet away from the house.
I literally, this thing doesn't
You turn
make noise.
around and you see something. And we'll get back to that in a second, as Dr. Ted is talking to Mr. CJ with Damon. So you try to tell him to have his emotions, and he is not wanting to, but he does start going into stories a little bit. And because he's looking over his cigar and just he's not handling it well. Damon, go ahead and roll me. What would you like to do? Actually, you said you wanted to read his mind, but
I was thinking about the read a bad situation, but that was as emotions were sort of flaring.
mm-hmm.
I don't know if that would be the best here.
I would say read a bad situation. No, I don't at this particular moment. When he was angry, it was, but because the professor is good at manipulating people, it's fine.
Okay.
Game Master, what would you recommend him do?
At this moment, you could try to. I mean, reading a bad situation right now wouldn't be a terrible idea, because right now you do get the sense that something is off about this house and this place. Because during your research, he hasn't moved since this was his house when he left for the millet, when he came back, and when he left. So he's stayed in this place and been locked in, I don't know, 1973 for 30 years.
That don't math, but okay.
I have
Yes,
I got
Mr. Bond.
a process. So I am curious.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you would allow,
I always love sentences like that. Go on.
for a combination of moves.
Okay, what combination exactly? You're not gonna try to punch this guy in the throat and summon lightning through his chest, right? Like,
No.
okay.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. I think that there is the possibility that Damon reaches out with his telepathy about the same time that the beep goes off, and his sight kicks in.
Okay.
And it redirects to whatever caused the beep.
Okay.
Or interferes with. I don't know how that interaction would work, but I'm looking to possibly merge telepathy in the sight.
Go ahead and roll me weird. If you
Okay.
can roll higher than a 10, you can use a luck point if you want to get it just automatically.
Okay.
We'll say yes.
I'm gonna try rolling first. Yeah, luck point.
Okay.
Because that was a 9, which is not quite good enough. So luck point.
Luck point. Okay. as you begin the telepathy, you can tell that there's pain and there is remorse, and he's not just thinking about his friends that passed away, he's also thinking about his kid. And when he's thinking about the kid, you see an image of his son, and then you see another image of that same son very differently. And it's fresh in your mind, not just in your mind, but you can see it behind you, as if your eyes just rolled back and you could see through the back of your head, like your teachers tell you they can, or did tell you that they could. And immediately you just spin around and you feel this urge. You just kind of, it's almost, it's not like you reach out your hands like a Jedi to shoot lightning out and say unlimited power by any means, but you just feel the second, and your hand turns like you're trying to turn a knob on a radio to turn up the volume, and you're just kind of holding it there, and you don't understand why. Professor Rox isn't here to explain. Is not here. Oh, there he is. Okay. Dr. Ted, as he's talking, you do catch out of the corner of your eye your young friend do this. Professor Ox, as you turn to see whatever's in front of you, you see a gaunt, semi-translucent teenage boy, maybe 14 or 15, a little bit of stubble. Their body looks like it just, you can see through it, and it's unhealthy. Like someone was just not fed for about 40 years. It looks at you. Its eyes are just black voids. Its jaw unhinges, and it says, "You've left people behind. You will join them in the Everwatching's grasp." As it goes towards you, you go to grab your gun just as a reflex, and it stops for a second, and you see its body to a song lyric that you don't recognize, which is some sort of music. Because I forgot to mention, Damon, you put on your tunes to give yourself some liquid courage, if you would, as you were doing this. Because I'm assuming Damon always has his music playing, right? It's just kind of a thing he does.
Yeah, probably. I feel like it's a little bit harder without not being in the earbuds era.
Sure. I mean, even if it's just around your, like, your ears so that you can kind of hear it, but it's not like
Yeah,
jam it out, but it's like a little rhythmic thing.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Whatever song it might have been, you see the creature kind of stuck for a moment in that space, giving you an opportunity to go roll and to kick some undead booty as you'd like. You get 1 round to do something. Mind you, if you're going to try to use a firearm, it will alert everyone here because you do not have a shotgun silencer, unfortunately. You're not cool enough for that.
Sawed off, so whatever.
Damon does not have a firearm. Damon has a skateboard and a slingshot. So
and a knife that the professor did give you if you're still holding on to that.
Wait, I thought he gave Dr. Ted the knife.
I gave each of you a knife.
Oh.
He could have forgot it at home.
Well, no, I mean, I think if he's gonna do something, if this is some sort of undead spooky shit, I don't think his skateboard or his slingshot are really prepared for that. And he's not really a knife guy. So I think he's going with magic.
Yeah, you're a bad boy.
Yeah.
So Professor Ox,
yes.
This creature seems to be stuck at you, but you could tell whatever is keeping it place is not going to hold for very long, as it seems to be getting a chance to move a little bit more and a little bit more. What would you like to do? At the moment, you can definitely tell this creature is undead of some sort, but you don't know the exact extent of its abilities, other than you look down at its feet for a second, and there is a perfect little bit of sulfur and the ooze. So you don't know if stabbing it or lighting this thing up with your shotgun is going to be more effective, until you try it and see what works better.
Well, we're going to try the shotgun approach. I'm just
Okay, go ahead to roll to kick some booty.
Kick some booty. So I get a +3 with this, and I have a -1. And I rolled a 7 + 2, so 9.
9. So, you and whatever you're fighting inflict harm to each other. The amount of harm is based on the established damage in the game. Usually, to inflict harm, the rating of your weapon, and your enemy inflicts the amount of. Yeah. So okay. So you do it. Whatever's stopping it, it kind of glitched steps back as you shoot it, but it does. As its jaw unhinged, a long tongue came out, and it's slashed you across the chest, doing 2 harm to you.
Real quick.
Yes.
Have we enacted the interfere with what a monster is trying to do that Damon had?
That was
from
the
the
radio
jinx or-
silence giving Professor
Okay.
Ox a second to attack first.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Never mind then.
No, totally fine. You can try to do it again, but now as you hear a coming from inside hit the guy's house. Dr. Ted, you flinch, and the guy also flinches, not as much, but he turns ready to fight. He's like, the hell? And he's going to charge in there, wondering who's shooting what in his house.
I will.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
I'll pull my pistol and point it at him as he comes in through the door.
It's gonna take. You have a bit more time before they get over here. You got another round to do something. The creature is charging at you again because now you heard it and now it's angry.
I'm gonna shoot it again.
Okay, go ahead and roll to kick some booty.
All right.
How much damage was the shotgun, by the way?
It is +3.
Okay, so 3 damage.
This one is
Mind you, the +3 is the damage, not what you also add on to the roll.
Okay, cool.
I know that for last time, like we'll keep it for last time, but I just realized what you did. So it's still just your tough modifier. It's not your shotgun modifier. Also,
then I shouldn't have taken guns. I learned this completely wrong. Oh, well,
I'm so sorry. I should have told.
I got an 8 this time.
Okay, so the good news is you do hit it again. Another shot. Is this a double barrel or a sawed off? Like, okay, so this is the last shot.
It is a sawed off. Sorry, I did say sawed off, not double barrel. So,
right. Well, double barreled sawed off is a thing you also can do, but this is just a sawed off shotgun. Okay.
Yeah. So
it's 2 shells.
Yeah.
Out of, if it's a regular shotgun, is it 6 or? What type of shotgun is it?
They put a little like wood thing in there that makes it so it only holds like 3, but so you get 1 in the chamber, 3 on the hole, but not you can take the wood shit out and it becomes an 8 barrel or an 8 shot. And,
an 8 barrel shotgun. Oh dear.
No, and the professor has 100% take that freaking thing out.
Okay.
So
you still have 6 rounds. Just making sure. All right. And the creature is going to slash you again with its tongue. And this time it's gonna aim more for your collarbone neck area. That's another 2 harm.
Shit. Another 2 harm.
Yeah. Your shotgun rounds your assault does seem to be affecting it as in full damage. It's not doing lesser than. So whatever you're using does seem to be working, but it does not seem to be doing enough because now it's really angry.
Well, shit.
I will say this, Damon, you are probably closer to the house if you want to try to cut the guy off or get in there before him. Dr. Ted, you'll most likely be going last because I think you're the least athletically adept in this moment.
What is the doctor's tough?
0.
0. Mine is a -1.
Damon is our tough boy.
I learned the guns wrong, and now I'm here. So
that's on me. I should have specified. I apologize.
No, you're good. This is what happens when you start learning a new TTRPG. You make mistakes. You make a character certain ways. It's perfectly fine. I'm fine with characters dying. Which is probably what's going to happen.
No, you'll be okay.
Oh, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your radio boy might be able to heal. You don't know.
Whatever. I'm gonna freaking. What else is he gonna do? He's gonna try and get out, but also like fire again.
Okay. Before you can go again, Damon, are you gonna try to stop the guy, or are you going to run into the building to try and get combat?
Great question.
Sorry, I should have let you know that you're going next. Apologies.
Yeah. Stop.
There's not an initiative order. There's not...
Damon is foolhardy. He's going in.
Okay, so you're running
He's
in
not
there.
the altruistic person I normally play that would stop somebody.
You look at this creature, and it turns to you as you step in. As you do step in, another bit of goo at the door where Professor Oak had left slightly ajar
Ox.
going in. Ox, sorry, Oak. Ah, I did it again.
Well, hello there, Ash Ketchum. Is your mother home?
What?
I'm here for my Bulbasaur.
The creature looks at you, and it doesn't look like you, but you see the look in its eye, and you felt that loneliness before, just a little bit. It kind of tilts its head at you, and you can tell, it's not quite sure what you're going to do, but you do get to attack it if you'd like. You see also Oak bleeding a lot.
Is it possible? I'm gonna try to actually use magic to trap it.
Okay, you can certainly try and go ahead and roll me a weird check.
It.
It's a weird gone.
Yeah.
Get it on. Go for it.
Okay.
Get
Do I want to use another luck? That is the question here that is now before me.
What'd you roll?
It'd be an 8.
It's good.
You know what?
The question is, if we play this again, are you going to be using the same character? Because the luck does not. You do regain 1 luck every adventure, that as per my homebrew rules. But if you burn a bunch of them, I can't help you.
Can I give him a luck to make him succeed?
No.
No, unfortunately.
No, I could use a luck, but instead I actually think I'm just going to take the glitch with it. Because I know what glitch Damon is going to take. So I am going to go ahead and let it trap that.
Okay.
But so the glitch that I think is Damon is going to take 1 harm.
Okay. So as you reach up your hand to do the dial thing again, just instinctually, the creature lunges towards you, and it actually makes contact with you. It almost hits you like a jock would, and you are thrown back into the wall, and you go through it partially. It hit a pipe. That's the harm you're going to take. It's like, ow! As you feel a large bruise just going right alongside your spinal column. I'm sure it'll be fine. As you lock this thing in place. Dr. Ted and the gentleman show up at the same time, and he says, "What is that?" And the creature looks to him. Dr. Ted, it's your turn. The creature is locked, otherwise it would have probably attacked. You're guessing that's probably the sun, you're guessing, because you don't know what it looks like.
Okay.
Well done, Damon.
Yay. I won't die.
I'm trying to decide if I want to do a let's get out of here thing and just kind of try and grab Professor Ox and protect him, or if I would just panic and throw something at this thing.
If you'd like, go ahead and roll me a
Act under pressure.
Yes, thank you.
I'm getting it.
Yeah, I would give yourself +1 because you're now this player of like, this man is right at this moment my patient, and I need to make sure he's safe.
So that'd be a 7.
A 7. So if we look at a handy dandy chart, acting under pressure. So you can try to pull him out, but doing so will get the monster directly on you. It will attack you next, no matter what anyone else does, or try to attack the patient. Depending on how brave you're feeling, you will be taking damage, or your patient will take damage, even though you're getting him out of there. This creature will still be in chance to get up to you and attack you. That's the worst outcome or hard choice I'm giving you, or a price to pay. So you can get him out of here, but it will attack you next.
So I think what I'm going to do, is I'm going to grab my blade, and I am just going to throw, like, as if I was throwing knives,
throwing an axe,
and just chucking this thing as hard as I can.
Okay, go ahead and roll me to kick some booty.
Breaking news. Therapist throws axe at a fucking child.
A dead child, which is worse.
That's boxcars.
Hey!
Okay.
Hell yeah!
You get to do the damage for the blade, which is 2. But you get and a bonus thing. You get to hold advantage, so all hunters involved in the fight get +1 moving forward. So everyone gets an additional +1. You will suffer no harm because the monsters always immediately attack after you do something. Your attack inflicts double damage than normal, or your attack drives the enemy away en route. So basically, if it was going to attack you, the knife throws it off and it'll attack someone else.
Double damage.
Double damage. Okay, so 4 damage you do's. And it does go clean through the creature, mind you. So, well done. Y'all doing great. All right, the creature, and it's locked in place. Damon, it does break through, and it is making its way towards Dr. Ted as you see it blink out. It'll take 2 blinks or 2 rounds to get to Dr. Ted unless someone attacks it first. It goes right past you, seeming to have ignored you that you blocked it in. Professor Ox, if you're going to attack it, you're going to have to leave the room and fire at it again, going into the main hallway.
Yeah, sure, why not? I'm a senile old man who's like, "You're here, you little fucker."
Okay, go ahead and roll me to kick some by Bootay.
And I have a +1 right now, or is it just double damage?
It's for hit. It was for that one roll. He did the double damage
okay.
instead of giving +1.
Okay. The same freaking an 8.
An 8.
This time it was a 6 and a 3.
You can use a luck point to get it up to a 10, so that way it does better effects.
I'll do a luck point.
Okay, you get to choose one of these effects.
Okay.
Gain advantage, take +1 forward, or give 1 to another +1 to a hunter.
Mm-hmm.
You inflict terrible harm, which means you do an additional harm.
Hey.
You suffer 1 less harm your next time you get wounded, or you force the creature to where you want them to go.
Ooh. I would like to give a +1 to the next hunter to attack.
Okay, so that'll be Damon. Okay. Well done.
So +3 harm to it.
Okay, 3 harm.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
No
The creature's it seems to have found its target, and that would be the person standing next to Dr. Ted. Damon, it is your turn. You are gasping for air as getting bruises anywhere near your back feel awful, and you're like, you seem to be out of breath, but you can still try to do something at this moment. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Also, when do I know music?
I have music going.
Do I?
It's very quiet. It's
Oh.
there though.
There you go. I didn't want it to be overwhelming.
This is kind of a suspenseful situation. Make it
Yeah.
overwhelming. Make it
There you go.
spooky.
Everything's fine.
Okay, now I can hear it.
I God, I feel like he needs to use magic again, but
The knife landed near where you
actually-
are, by the way. The one that Dr. Ted threw.
the what?
The knife that Dr. Ted threw landed near your feet.
What? So what? Because I don't remember the stats. Is it just a regular knife? But
It is a black iron blade. It's something that is specifically manufactured to hunt monsters. Basically, it's like having a silver knife, or like a silver bullet for a vampire, or a wooden stake for a silver bullet for a werewolf and a wooden stake for a vampire. It's like this will kill everything. It's just not specialized in killing anything, so it won't do as much damage as a wooden stake to a vampire or a silver bullet to a werewolf.
Gotcha. Okay.
So then, yeah, I think he's finally going to be like, son of a. All right. And go for the knife. And he is going to try to kick some ass.
All right.
Yay,
You get +1 to that,
Yay.
thanks to your professor.
Awesome.
Woo!
No.
That's an 11 on the dice, with a 1
Nice.
tough and a +1, so that's a 13, baby.
13,
Hell
very nice.
yeah,
So
baby.
you get to hold the advantage. All hunters involved in the fight get +1 moving, 1 forward for the next round, basically.
Yes.
You suffer no harm this round if it were to turn around and attack you. You suffer less harm. Oh, no, you suffer no harm at all. You do double damage, or your attack drives the enemy away from its direct target, which is CJ Terry.
And I get to pick.
You get to pick one of those things.
Yes.
Oh,
I'll instead of repeating them, I'll just send them in the chat.
yeah, I've got it pulled up. I've got it.
Well, for those that don't have the sheet, because not all of you are prepared as you.
Okay.
I have the book.
I think Damon
Nerd.
is tapping into his inner rage, and he is going to inflict double the normal harm.
Okay. Woo. Okay, so that's instead of 2, 4. So it's very nice, guys.
Yeah.
Right. The creature is going as you see it teleporting. It's the first teleport. You dive at it, and you actually are able to make contact with it as it seems surprised by doing it. And you stab it into its back. It's going to shake you off and throw you into the counter, hitting a bunch of glassware, and like pots. As you fall on the ground, you get sprayed with a bunch of broken things. You're like, ow! As you're just being tossed around, that's another harm for you, good sir.
Yep.
Mind you, for those of you at home, monster of the week, you only get 7 hit points, period. So when Professor Ox took 2, then 2, he's looking
I'm
a
feeling
little
pretty
on
good.
the- yeah,
He's
Little
in
bloody.
fact unstable.
Yeah. Hey.
if he takes one more, I say you're unstable once you break like 5, so that way you have a chance to do something, because most monsters will just rip you in half most of the time. Okay. Well done. It is now Dr. Ted. The creature is turned its attention back to you guys, but it's still a blink away, and you have no weapon to fight this thing with.
Okay, so
Use your knowledge, boy.
I think
Don't
what I'm
mind
gonna
me
do-
just out here with 2 knives.
I think what I'm going to do is I am going to do Let's Get Out of Here, which is a move specific to the mundane. If you can protect someone by telling them what to do, or by leading them out, roll plus charisma instead of plus tough. So I am going to look at everybody and go, I think I have this thing distracted. Everyone go out the window. And then I am going to turn and just bust ass the opposite direction. The thing's going after me.
Okay, go ahead and roll your thing.
I rolled an 8.
Okay.
Hey.
This is to manipulate somebody, or just to get people to listen to you?
To get people to listen to me. So if I can, the way it reads is, let's get out of here. If you can protect someone by telling them what to do, or by leading them out, roll plus charisma instead of plus tough. So I figured shout at them, and then I'm going to try and distract the monster, because right now I don't have any damage on me.
Correct. With an 8, we'll say that it has the ability to we're gonna say this, like, manipulate someone, or like the same stats of it. So your two friends aren't gonna jump through the window, and the guy is not going to do it, but he's gonna beat you. He's gonna run past you and go through the door, because the door is still ajar. He doesn't want to break one of his own windows trying to get away from this thing. But the monster does seem to be on your tail, and it is actually going to go towards you. And it is going to. Actually, I need you to roll me 2d6.
It's 5, 6.
6. Dr. Ted, have you abandoned any of your patients because you felt like you couldn't help them?
No, but I've re-guided them to new psychiatrists, people I thought could help better than I could, with more experience.
Okay. Ever check up on those patients afterwards?
No.
From your colleagues, other people. It blinks in front of you, and you feel, instead of its tongue, a long, cold, bony finger extends into almost a scythe-like claw. and it stabs into your stomach. You've abandoned people you swore to protect. And it blinks away, and you take 2 damage, 2 harm, as you feel a regretful feeling, as you feel all the people that you thought you were helping take care of. You see these images. You don't know if they're real or not, of them being abandoned or neglected by their doctors that you sent them off to.
Okay.
You're not stunned for the next round, but you're in a daze. You'll probably have -1 on your next turn.
Okay.
But the guy is out of the house now, and he's trying to get into your car / trying to get to his truck. He is away. You have stalled, and this guy seems safe for now.
Okay.
Ox, you're up. Ted is in your way, and he seems to be holding his gut. Maybe he's taking it well that he's bleeding from his stomach, or he's in shock and doesn't realize that he's bleeding from his stomach.
I'll tell you this, you're doing a great job, and I'm gonna walk past him and shoot at the ghost again.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me to kick some booty.
This is what I built this character for. He's not.
You want to burn another luck?
I got the same fucking number again. I got the same fucking number. This is ridiculous. Yes, I'll burn another luck, I guess.
Okay, how many have you burnt?
I've burnt 3.
Okay. So you're at 10. Would you like to inflict terrible damage, suffer 1 less harm, force the creature where you want it to go, or take an advantage forward, or +1 to another, give a +1 to another hunter?
I'll inflict terrible harm.
Okay. How would the Dr. Oak like to do this?
Hey!
As you guys have dealt 20 damage to this creature and had a total of 19.
I believe Dr. Oak would like to use Charizard.
Gosh darn it! Dr. Ox, how would you like to do it, Professor Ox? Gosh
as
darn
I
it.
go to go past Ted just to get to the other side where the ghost is, he's like, you're doing a great job, son. But we've basically won, and just fire.
All right. The creature's physical form disperses, leaving this area. However, Professor Ox and Dr. Ted, from the little research you did, it's not permanently dead, but it's probably going to take a long time for it to reform. It could be a couple of hours, could be a couple of years. You don't know. What you do know, Professor Ox, is that there is something in that thing's room probably tethering it there. Whether that be you literally just set this entire house on fire, so that it doesn't have to worry about it, or you go in there and try to find whatever object it might be tethered to. You don't know.
I would imagine it's probably the magical item that. So I'm gonna go in the room and look around and find the item. I'm also gonna take the writing that was there, and I'm gonna try and just vandalize it.
Okay. Roll me a weird check.
Okay.
Damon, you're also Damon and Dr. Ted were no longer in combat. You guys can get up and kind of move around a little bit if you'd like.
We'll change the music over.
Yeah, Damon is like, so you think they're tethered here?
Yes. It seems to be no shots. That's a. Oh God, what is
To
it?
be honest, this place is a dump. We would probably be doing the city a favor, just burning the whole place down, and then we know we got it.
Guys,
We just light it on fire. We
can't just burn down his house.
What
Yes, we can.
What just happened? The guy's coming in here. He's pissed, and he grabs a shotgun out of the umbrella holder, and he's pointing it at you guys.
Sure. Put the gun down.
No, what was that? What
Put
happened?
the gun down, and we can talk.
Roll me to
Listen.
manipulate someone. Doctor, if you'd like to try to assist, now is the time.
Yep, I would like
That's
to
a
try to
10.
assist.
Okay.
That's an 11, 12, 13.
Okay.
Also, I failed on the use magic.
Okay, you can give yourself another experience point. You are able to put the gun down, but you can tell he's he's visibly shaken.
As I have just blood come out yes.
Yeah. Your chest looks like someone tried to make you into a ham, and then your neck looks like someone failed to make a necktie.
I just as he puts it down, I say, Is there something significant within here that would probably tether your son?
That was my son?
Whatever the
It's what
fuck
was
that
left
thing
of him.
was, it's tethered to this room.
And yeah, you try to. It's not like paper. That it was behind it, so it's actually like on the wall. You try to like smear it and things like that. It does not seem to be working. And as your hand rubs along, you don't take damage, but you feel a tinge of unbridled wrath kind of touch your hands, and you're like, "Ugh, that's uncomfortable." Like when Gandalf was trying to pick up the one ring, like you just felt like the eye. That sort of vibe from the wall.
I'll just go, Damon, knife.
Damon will hand over the. We could just burn it.
I stab the sign.
Okay. I need you to roll me to kick some booty one more time.
Okay.
+1 because it's a wall, but
I got a 3.
That's not a great face.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I got a 3 to attack wall.
So you try to attack
Can
the
I
wall.
use a luck to make that not?
A 3? Okay. So
You know what?
all
No, just fucking get me. Just fucking no.
it's not gonna kill you. The wall's not gonna like grow arms and beat the crap out of you. You just try to strike it, and it
I just
was like
grab the fucking knife by the actual blade instead. And I'm just like, ah, and then hit, and like, oh.
no. It's like when Gimli hit. I'm on a Lord of the Rings kick. We just watched The Fellowship for the first time with the
Oh my
wife. She really
gosh.
enjoyed it.
Good. I'm happy.
You go to stab the wall, and you are thrown back. It does not seem that this writing is not wanting to be abused in such a physical manner.
Damon is
Damon,
going at it with
Roger!
magic. He is absolutely going at it with some
Go for
fire
it.
magic. It's happening.
Sherman, help me.
Well, it won't be fire magic, but you're gonna try to. Can Damon do fire magic?
I mean, it's basic magic. It's
Sure.
inflicting harm of some sort. It doesn't say what.
It's just
flavor.
vibrating molecules until they.
If you, just go ahead and roll magic, and we'll see how you light this puppy ablaze, or if you dispel it or something
It's
like that.
easy magic. It just vibrate the molecules in the air and then.
Just go Super Saiyan. Come on,
Yeah.
Damon, you can do it. I believe in
That
you.
is a 10.
A 10. Okay, let's.
On,
You. May I describe, or do you just want to set this thing ablaze? I have something cool, but if you want to do fire.
if you have something cool, I'm gonna put my trust in
Hey.
you.
Let's go.
You put on your headphones officially this time. They're still working. You're worried the cord's glitching a little bit. The cord might need to be repaired. It's fine. You walk over to it, and you touch the wall, and you feel that anger and hate and like fear. You close your eyes, and your hands begin to vibrate like you saw it when you were looking into that mirror that that the doctor put in front of you. And you begin to shake, and all of you see the words begin to peel off and slowly disperse into almost like little beads of glass before turning into dust. As he continues to shake until all the words fall. And Dr. Ted, you're the only person that isn't on their ass over tea kettle right now, and the dad, who's very confused. You look out the window and you see, similar to the boy you saw before, healthier, younger, an image of a small child with their mom seeing their dad drive away and saw it for the last time. He looks to you. The kid maybe looks 10, maybe 9, waves to you as the setting sun, the rays hit it, and it's gone. You don't spend too long here. You tell him to come to your office, and maybe you two can chat about this as police sirens are close, and you guys need to get out of here.
I don't mean to alarm anyone, but I seem to be bleeding from my stomach. Can I get some help here?
Yeah, give me a second. I think I can help with that.
Cool.
You guys are able to get out
Ted,
and
you're
get to a safe
driving,
place.
and I throw him the keys.
Not a problem.
Ted is.
I mean, it's his
Ted
car,
Also
so
for harm.
no, he's too
It was
harm.
my
It's his.
car, there we
Okay.
go.
I'm rough, buddy.
You are able to get to the hospital or a place that would be safe for you to go to, Professor Ox, and these people. There's a wing specifically for your line of work, so that you're able to get them all taken care of, the bandages, repairs. You've never had a injury like that, Dr. Ted. You've never had it heal up that quickly. As I told you, here, drink this. It tasted like no, I'm not going to explain what it tastes like. It didn't taste good, but you felt your stomach reform, which also did not feel very good. But now there's just a little bit of a scar of like someone just like booped you on the tummy. Professor Ox, you're get escorted away as if you to do paperwork. As you have to do some paperwork, and a little bit of explanation is why there are also 2 civilians in this part of the hospital, as not your boss, but someone who is meant to look after you and look after this area is like, care to explain?
They were helpful.
We're going, but you guys completed this mission. You saved Russ's soul and Dr. Ted. 2 days after that whole incident, after the funeral services, you see a similar gentleman that you saw before, except not smelling like 5-year-old takeout. The guy that's cleaned up a little bit, clothes are clean, hair is combed over, and he's like, Dr. Ted, I have some things I'd like to talk to you about.
Come join me in my office.
Life settles down a little bit. Damon, one thing that you do notice, and Professor Ox, you get a notification through your ham radio set, and also literally like as a telegram, and it beeps out to you. A message talking about the Fallen Collector, which is not a name you are familiar with, but a symbol that you recognize as you hang out with Damon is a golden button seems to be attached to it. Damon, your golden button has not stopped slightly glowing and humming this entire time. It doesn't mess with the music, but it helps you sleep at night a little bit. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session. Well done, guys. Your first kill. I'm so proud of you guys. I wish we had 3 sessions because there was a way you actually could have talked to the kid and like talked him down, but that was a lot of fun. Well done, guys.
It's fine. He's a child. My old man doesn't.
We do not condone murdering children with shotguns and stabbing them with knives, for the record.
We
He wasn't a
murder
real
it,
kid.
We released it.
Yeah. All right.
Fine, we don't believe in releasing children with the access of shotguns and knives.
Well,
There
There you
may
go.
be a carve out if they are grinding people's faces off. For the
I
You
record.
know what? That is fair, but if a child is grinding people's faces off, seek professional help.
yeah. I do
First,
love the fact
professional
that
help. Dr.
we
Ted.
my
had-
character
we had
went
Dr.
from
Ted. Yeah, we're
being
good.
an absolute badass to a senile man that probably shouldn't have fucking guns on him. Real quick, as I read that entire thing wrong. So, yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Remember,
Yes.
your adventure matters. Till next time, roll your initiative. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.